All you need to do every single day is be you. I know that sounds corny and cliche, but hear me out. Hi. So, I've seen this theme on social media. It's like the archetype of the people waking up at 5 a.m. and then they do their little rising routine. You know, they make a nice healthy breakfast. They do 82 things before 8 a.m. and I'm not even awake yet. Like, it's giving anti-soft girl. And I don't know if I'm about that life, truly. At one point I was about that life, or at least I was trying to be. But like, I was always overwhelmed, I was always burnt out. And honestly, even sometimes just watching that content, like I love to see it. I love to see it when it's like authentic, when I'm like, I know that person, like that is just them. That's how they love to operate their life. That's how they enjoy living their life. Yes, love to see it. But I'm gonna try to say some of this stuff in the nicest way possible that hopefully won't offend anybody. But I don't know if I'm gonna do that successfully. Sometimes it's a little overwhelming seeing all the content of like, these are all the things you need to do in order to be productive and actually be successful and be in the top 1% of the population. And I'm like, that's a lot. That's a lot of things. And then I was looking back at my, manifesting your goals videos, especially the one where I was like creating new habits and things. And I'm like, ooh, I hope I was not giving those vibes because that's gonna give me the ick. So I wanted to clear this up because there was a very strong point I was like emphasizing in that video, that it's not necessarily that you have to do all of these things to meet your goals or do all of these things to be successful and be happy. You have to be those things. And I'm gonna process that with you a little bit deeper. So if you're craving to live a certain way or be that girl or be that person that does wake up at 5 a.m. and does all of those things, and you're craving being that person that is like 110% productive every single day, when that's not inherently naturally truly who you are, and that's not the true embodiment of who you are, it gets exhausting to keep up with. Trust me, I've tried, I've done it, and it doesn't feel good. And even wanting to be that person and attempting to comes from another place entirely, psychologically, because that is an indicator that there is something in your unconscious mind or your subconscious that desires something about those lifestyles, or desires something about that type of life or being that type of person. And you sort of have to go in and say, okay, what is the feeling that I'm craving from this? What is the need I'm trying to fulfill by being this? And if it's not something that comes natural to you, then how do you fulfill that need in a way that is true to who you actually are? So that's a whole other thing entirely. I digress. But all you need to do every single day is be you. I know that sounds corny and cliche, but hear me out. You're not a human doing, you're a human being. So if you're creating new habits for yourself, or a new structured routine for yourself, or even if you're simply just creating a to-do list and tasks for your day, don't think about necessarily what you need to do every single day in order to meet your goals. Think about what you need to be, who you need to be. So in the video, when I was creating new habits for myself, and one of my goals this year was to reach over 100,000 subscribers on YouTube, I'm not thinking I need to do videos every single day, or I need to do something to create a video every single day. What's in my mind, what's the idea, the belief system that I've ingrained into my mind that's living here, is I need to be someone who makes videos every day. I need to be someone who makes content every day. I need to be a content creator. I need to be someone who enjoys the process of making these videos and creating content based on who I am, because that is truly how I want to live my life. That's truly how I want to leave my legacy. So that means creating a system that is sustainable while also being enjoyable for you. That's why I mentioned in that video, you have to create habits that are going to be appealing to you, habits that are attractive to you. If you're putting something on your list of habits that you want to start doing every single day that you read or you look at every single day and you sort of dread, or you just don't look forward to doing, if you don't look forward to doing it, take that thing off your list right now. Change it. I'm telling you right now, change it. Do what you gotta do to enjoy your day. Literally, like, don't waste your time, okay? Oh my gosh. I wish I can go back and tell my past self this, because I used to be one of those people that tried to be that girl, try to get up early and create. I used to do that system called time blocking, where like every hour of every single day, you're planning out what you're doing. So like from 8 to 10, I'm doing this. From 10 to 2, I'm doing this. From 2 to 5, I'm doing this. And it was so exhausting to keep up with. Rarely did I ever succeed any day, because things change. Like, sometimes your energy isn't there for all of those things. Sometimes things happen within your day that cut into time for a particular task or a particular thing that you planned on doing, and things don't work out the way you expect them to, and then you end up falling behind on your day or your week or your month, and you just get overwhelmed and you just become stressed, and it is not a fun time. So create something sustainable, create something enjoyable. And if you have to change your environment to make this process easier for you, make things easier in the way that there's less friction between you and doing that habit, so it does become more enjoyable, or you do look forward to it, or it does become more sustainable for you, then do that. Since I have laid out my new habits, and I started mine towards the end of December, still going with them now, I've been noticing a pattern where maybe I don't fulfill every single habit every single day. That is ultimately the goal. I'm not beating myself up about it though, but one of my habits in particular, I sort of ended up grouping together, but yoga and meditation. I found that a lot of days I was doing my meditation, but I wasn't doing my yoga for whatever reason. And that is something that is really important to me. It's also very enjoyable for me, but there was a little bit of friction between me and doing yoga, because my yoga mat was out of sight, out of mind. I kept my yoga mat in a closet. So since noticing that, I then took my yoga mat out of the closet and I put it like around my bedside, basically, because it is part of my rising routine. It's one of the first things I do aside from like meditating and dream journaling. I kind of like do those things first along with my gratitude list, but then yoga is usually like closer to the latter half of my rising routine. And I noticed when I got to that point in my rising routine, I usually would just want to like eat breakfast and then get into my day, and I was skipping my yoga entirely. So now that I've moved my yoga mat to be in sight and there's less friction because it's literally right there, all I need to do is put it out, unroll it, and do my yoga, I've noticed that I've been a lot more consistent with it, and I'm now able to check off that habit of both yoga and meditation and not just doing half of it. I could even take it one step further and just leave my yoga mat on the floor so that there's less friction in me like unrolling it, having to roll it back up, things like that. So what I'm saying is, if you need to change your environment, if you need to make that habit more appealing to you, more attractive, more enjoyable, just do it. It's really sometimes that easy. And then that gets you one step closer to being that person that you want to be, and not necessarily having the idea that you need to do these things to be the person you want to be. And it also sends subliminal clues to your mind every single day. Like by me seeing my yoga mat in my room, I'm a yogi, period. Like that's just the message that I'm sending to myself now. That's just what I'm embodying for myself now because of the changes that I've made and now the habits that I'm being consistent with. So the last thing I want to talk about is why I don't use progress bars or like timelines that sort of tell you like you did 100% of your tasks this week or you did 100% of your habits this week. Some like digital planners or like automated systems like Notion, there's ways you can integrate to have it tell you what percentage of your habits you completed that week, or like it'll give you a little progress bar, like as you complete things the progress bar fills up, kind of like an Apple Watch thing. I don't use those. Maybe if I was like trying to get my steps in, I would use them, but when it comes to my everyday day-to-day habits, I do not use them. And I'm not against them, you know, they work for some people. I'm not one of those people. For me, it's not something that works. Something I've had to work through is perfectionism. When I was in school, I was that student that had to get 110% on every test and quiz to feel like I accomplished something. And if I even got 1 or 2 questions wrong, I like would look back at those questions and be like, damn, I knew those things. Or, you know, if there was extra credit on the test, it's like I had to even study so hard that I would get all the extra credit questions right. You know what I mean? Like, I was just that type of student. Needless to say, teachers loved me, but it really did suck at times when maybe I got an 82 or an 85 or even a 90% on a test because I didn't feel proud of myself. I didn't feel accomplished in anything. And the same thing goes for progress bars and things like that. I don't use them to this day. I don't sort of grade myself on my performance on a day-to-day basis. And like I said, if you're one of those people and it helps you, by all means do it. Nothing wrong with it. I'm just saying it doesn't work for me and it might not work for other people out there. And if you're one of those people, all I'm gonna say is don't discredit yourself. Even if you're just getting 1% closer or 1 step closer to the version of you that you want to be. And what I mean by that is, let's say you want to become a runner, okay? You want to get up every single rising and run a mile before 8 a.m. And let's say you have not fulfilled that habit or task yet. We're God knows how many days into 2023 and you just have not done it yet. But maybe tomorrow you choose to lay out your workout set so that way you roll out of bed, you brush your teeth, you put your workout set on, and your shoes are already next to the door with your keys and everything else that you need to run. You have a water bottle already filled up. You are all prepared for the day, okay? And let's just say when you wake up that rising, you brush your teeth, you put your workout set on, and that's it. You don't make it out, you don't run a mile that day. But there's something to still be acknowledged there. You are still 1 step closer, 1% closer to becoming a runner. You're 1 step closer because you at least got up at that time, you brushed your teeth, and you put the workout set on. That is better than you did the day prior. And I'm sure that's way better than you did a month ago. So be proud of yourself. And try not to compare yourself to other people, because then I'm sure it's really easy to compare yourself to other friends, peers, even on social media. You know, you might see, dang, Bethany went out and ran 5 miles today before 7 a.m. You're not Bethany. Bethany's not you, and that's okay. You are 2 different people with 2 different journeys, different life experiences, different lessons in life, different obstacles, different challenges. There is no need to compare yourself to anyone. So yeah, that is all I want to say. Just be you. You're a human being, not a human doing, and get 1% better every single day. Just get 1 step closer to the person that you want to be every single day. And as long as you're focusing on that, progress will be made. I'll talk to y'all later.